Welcome to B-Sides Augusta 2015. We want to do some quick logistics and say some thank you to some special people. We have many special guests here for the next couple of hours. First, I want to welcome Dr. Brooks Keel, who's the president of GRU and the CEO of Georgia Regions Health System, and Dr. Gretchen Kaufman, who's the executive vice president of academic affairs. Dr. Keel, who is president of GRU now, is a native of Augusta, Georgia. Like me, is an alumni of Georgia Regents University, although it was a different name many years ago. Augusta College at the time. And now also a graduate of MCG, so he is born, raised, and knows this university and is going to be leading it moving forward. So please give me a hand in welcoming Dr. Keel.
Wow, thank you very much. Y'all didn't come to the faculty meeting, so I got that kind of round of applause or something. Thank y'all so much for taking time to be with us here in this. I got to say, this is a beautiful facility. If you don't think it's a beautiful facility, you need to show me where to go with someone better than this. We're really, really proud of this facility, proud of this campus, proud of what we're doing here. And I just want to welcome you to the campus of Georgia Regents University, and welcome you to this beautiful facility. Welcome you to B-Sides. Today is a day of service in the community for Georgia Regents, and we have over 1,000 volunteers who are going to be out and about throughout the community.
A shirt that I'm supposed to give him. Was I supposed to give him a shirt? You're going to do that? I don't know, large? Maybe? Do you want to do that? Or? Hey.
In the community, although look at this crowd, I'm not sure how many lunches you're going to have left over, but that's okay. It is really great to see such a crowd here. I want to just give a real quick shout out to the B-Sides planning group members, including Lawrence Abrams, Mike McGarg, and Phil Plantadoro, forgive me for that pronunciation, but also especially point out Mark Baggett, Doug Burks, and Ron Martin, who are, as you've already heard, were not only part of this community, but alums of this great Georgia Regents University, and it is Augusta College. That's what I was going to school. There will always be Augusta College to me, and I'm really, really proud to be president of both of my alma maters. I want to issue a challenge to each and every one of you here. I'm told that many of you, or most of you, who are attending this conference are from the Augusta community. I'm also told that many of you are in the business of security in some way, shape, form, or fashion. We have an unprecedented, unbelievable opportunity in Augusta right now. And we all, and I'm talking about the big we, don't take advantage of this, and we all ought to be ashamed of ourselves. I had the great opportunity to meet General Fogarty just a moment ago and to tell him personally how committed Georgia Regents University is, and Cyber Command is going out at full authority. That is going to change the face of this community in many, many ways. And as you know, we have a cybersecurity institute here at Georgia Regents that we're just standing up, and it is well on its way to national recognition. And Joint Section, we appreciate you taking the lead and running that for us. We're going to be investing more money, bringing more faculty to really make this a top-notch organization, top-notch facility here in Augusta. But to the business folks, the industry folks, those of you who do this for a living, we want to make sure that this becomes a mecca of all things cybersecurity. We want to create a cybersecurity village here in the CSRA, and it's an opportunity to really serve as that magnet to bring business industry from all over the world here.
Video in red now says recording on the big screen.
Or in business yourself and you're not located here, you ask yourself why you're not. And if you know someone else is in the business remotely associated with what you do here, and they're looking to do somewhere, you can tell them this is where they need to go. But I promise you, in the next 3 or 4
Yep, audio and video in blue 2 and blue 1.
I can't tell you outside of that to be part of it. So this let me have an opportunity to say welcome to you. I wish I had a chance to see more about what you do.
We need a AV guy in red when you get a chance.
I'm sure that that's a skill I'll ever use, but I never thought I'd be able to do more. So thanks for being here. Hope you have a great conference. Go Jags!
All right. So thank you, sir. wait, sir, 1 second. I know that you're going to be out there working and cutting grass and doing all this stuff for the Dr. Keel for your day of service, and so we just want to give you a B-side shirt since you're probably going to get that one nasty and sweaty when you're out there mowing the grass. So thank you. And one more thing we have for you, and it's one of our planners. Sons made this. It's a handmade gift for you, but we wanted to present you with a set of pens that say B-Sides Augusta on them, and just say thank you for the use of the facility and everything that GRU is doing for the community.
That's beautiful.
So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Fantastic.
All right, thank you. Okay, and now we have a very special guest. So Major General Fogarty is also a native of Georgia, I think Savannah, Georgia. He was commissioned in 1983, and today Major General Fogarty is the commanding general for Fort Gordon and for the Cyber Center of Excellence. So please join me in giving a very special welcome to Major General Fogarty.
Keep that going.
This is pretty intimidating crowd. Yeah, I'm not a hacker. I'm not a cracker. I'm not some of the other firms I looked out over the last couple of days. But when I flipped on my iPad this morning and I pulled up the Washington, one of the top 10 stories read like this: "Yet another thing exposed in the Ashley Madison hack." I know, so just bear with me. "Ridiculously bad passwords." So I'm shocked. I'm sure you are also. And the question was, you'll never guess the top. A hobbyist group, Scientific Crime, and they actually went against the data they were able to download, and they cracked 11 million passwords. And if there's programming errors and how the encryption applied, left the information less secure than was originally thought. Now, does anyone want to guess what the top password was? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the other passwords that made the top 5 are much better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Password, default, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is the one I use most of the time. But they said we shouldn't be too surprised because in, I guess, surveys from your community, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 has been the most popular password uncovered for data breaches during the past 2 years. Now, at the end of most articles, they have space for comments, and I kind of perused those. At 6:30 in the morning, there were 28 comments, and this was the one that I thought was probably the most interesting. And the guy's handle was chili pepper shake, and why he was up at 6:30 in the morning, I can only imagine. But here's what he posted. This was the adultery account, not the bank account. You need a password you can remember when you're drunk. He said the nuclear codes were 0000 for a reason. And I wasn't aware of that. Most of you guys probably are. So hopefully someone at Strategic Command is changing the nuclear codes. So seriously, I'm very honored to have the opportunity to kick off this conference this morning. And I'll just spend a couple minutes with you. But as Dr. Hill said, this is a big deal. I think I've heard this is the second largest B-Sides conference in the country. You doubled the attendance, actually over doubled the attendance from last year. Last night, I was actually looking at video from Mayor Hardy Davis, who was the kickoff speaker, and I think about 300 attendees, and this year almost 700 plus. And there were a lot of people waiting in line still trying to get in. So the presentations and I think the events on the schedule that I saw are very impressive. And we're really fortunate to have some of the leading minds in this community here with us today. Now, who I am is really uninteresting and really unimportant, but I think the organization that I represent the U.S. Army Cyber Center of Excellence. I think, number one, it's very important to our Army. It's important to the local region. It's going to gain prominence and importance nationally, and I would predict internationally over the next couple of years. And I think that's not only important, but I think that should be very interesting to you, particularly if you're from the local region. So if you're within about 100 miles of here, could you raise your hand? Okay, excellent. How many of you in the audience are government or military? Something federal. Okay, excellent. Glad you're here. That's really the theme. It's really what I want to talk about, which is convergence. It's convergence, DoD, academia, industry, and very important, really, private citizens. So some of you represent, sure, some of the large companies that have sponsored the event. But some of you have a passion about doing this. You may be doing it for your own interest. You're doing it for a variety of reasons. And we've got to find some way to kind of bring you in if you're willing to do that. I understand that's actually pretty daunting for many of you. So, collaboration with our traditional partners. So for me in the Army, it's joint, it's interagency, it's intergovernmental. It's increasingly more industry, academia. The relationship we've built over the last couple of years with GRU, I think, is a model. And the other piece of this is the other group that's out there. Many of you who are sitting in this room, whether you're doing this as a hobby or a hobbyist, as our Canadian author said, or frankly, you're doing it as part of a startup business or small business. I think we're really talking about the same thing. It's just ethics, ethical hacking, and I think that's really the key to success. As I looked over the curriculum for today, I think, frankly, great topics, great presenters. I'll be followed by Ed Scotus. I've listened to him before, and I think that's going to be a great keynote address that you're going to receive from him. So, grassroots conferences like this, they really offer an opportunity, frankly, for my soldiers and my civilians at Fort Warren to actually mix with you. I think what you'll find is really our objectives are very similar. Frankly, we're very similar. As I look out the parking lot, I think most of us drive about the same type of car. And so I think what we find is we have a lot more similarities than we have dissimilarities. And conferences like this, I think, can help us establish some type of common ground. But the bottom line is all of you, frankly, are extremely talented. You're very innovative, and frankly, superstars in this business. And this is what industry needs. This is what your government needs right now. And you have incredible potential to offer help to both the private and the public sectors to secure and defend our networks. Now, I need the best and brightest soldiers and civilians to accomplish my mission. And I desperately need the help of others, like the ones that are in this audience. I know we're broadcasting to a couple of other rooms. Because I need your help to make sure we have the best tools, we have the best tradecraft, we have the best capability in this arena, because the stakes are just too high to even think about failing. So a culture of convergence and open collaboration is absolutely critical to our success as a nation in the cyber domain. And I believe that you and others like you are going to play a key role in the effort to ensure we can protect our critical infrastructure and other vital capabilities. Now, hackers love the challenge of creatively overcoming and circumventing limitations of systems. And that's why you're here today. Whether you're lockpicking, you sit in some of the sessions on advanced TTP or advanced tools, you're really trying to do the same thing. And you're doing it ethically. And, you're going to bring what you learn here back to your corporation or to your university, or hopefully for our guys back to the work center, and you're going to be able to employ it ethically. You're going to be able to do it for the right reason. So, what's important that's happening at Fort Gordon is we have established the first branch in the Army since 1985. And it's appropriately called the Cyber Branch. And it's small. It's about 1,300 soldiers, officers, warrant officers, non-commissioned officers, and we have a large group of civilians that will be part of that force. And they come principally from our Signal Corps and from our military intelligence branch. And we have infantrymen, we have a few aviators, we have some artillery men that really pursue their passion, which is cyber defense or cyber offense. They do that ethically on their own time, and they have kept their skills up. And so when we opened the branch and we started, frankly, interviewing, we had about 20 or 30 applications for every slot that we had to fill. So we think the quality's high. We think we set the bar high enough, and we think we have a quality force. And why that's important to you is those officers, those warrant officers, those civilians, those NCOs, they're all going to train at Fort Gordon at the Cyber Center of Excellence. And so the Army is making a huge investment in the hundreds of millions of dollars to develop the campus, to ensure that we have the right tools, that we have the right instructors, that we have the right curriculum. And I've already talked about getting the right students, because that's what we need. I think students first, curriculum, qualified instructors, and then a world-class campus. Because what we're really trying to do is recruit a world-class workforce. I want to retain as many of those as I can, because our training pipeline runs from about a year to about 18 months to develop an apprentice. And if they decide they don't want to stay in uniform, I'm okay with that. I want them to go out to industry. I want them to go to other sectors of the government. And I want them to serve ethically in this business. So when we make this investment, we're not just making it for the Army, we're making it for the nation. And that's what we're trying to build at Fort Gordon. And we think we're off to a great start. We actually just started our first, what we call BOLIC, our Basic Officer Leader course, for our cyber lieutenants. And we started small. 30 officers, 15 from West Point, and 15 from universities across the country. And when I met that group for the first time, in the front row was a young lieutenant. She had her PhD from MIT. Then a young lieutenant who was a graduate of Harvard. They have options. They did not have to travel to Fort Gordon to start their career, but they chose to. And those are the crew that are going to be mixing and mingling with you. And what has struck me as we've gone out and interviewed thousands of soldiers and officers and warrant officers is the passion they bring to this business. And they can feel a lot of other things. And they choose to serve something greater than themselves. So what I would encourage you to do is you see them sitting and mingling today is introduce yourself. Hopefully my guys will introduce themselves to you. And frankly, we can start to bring maybe some communities, maybe a little skeptical of each other. And they, at the personal level, you understand we're just not that different. And I think that's very important for us. Now, talk a little bit about the quality of the workforce. We rely to a great extent on industry, on academia, to provide curriculum, and to provide instructors. And we'll continue to do that in the future as we grow our own capabilities. But one of the biggest changes in Fort Gordon is the realization that we have to have a world-class campus. And how many of you have actually been on Fort Gordon? Okay, so most of you. Excellent. So when you drive to Fort Gordon, you see infrastructure was built over the 60s. And we've spent the last 9 months actually looking at the principles of design. And what we recognize is our weapon system is not a helicopter, it's not an armored vehicle, it's not an artillery tube. It's the network. And so we have to organize around the network. And so we have to have the most modern network in the Army, most modern data centers, most modern labs, most modern research library. And that's what we're working through right now with the Army. On 8 October, we have a big date. And my date is with the Vice Chief of Staff of the Army, because we're going to have the opportunity to lay out what we think the road ahead is at Fort Gordon. And we've received tremendous support up to this point. We've had numerous congressional delegations down. They affirmed that we're on the right path. In fact, Senator Isaacson was down last Friday. And I said, Senator, this is a big bill I'm going to present to the Army and to the nation at a really tough time. Defense budgets are shrinking. This is a hard argument. And he says, Steve, don't apologize. So we need to invest in the future, not the past. And cyber is our future. So this is the spirit that our senior leadership actually is taking on. They understand the threat. They understand what's going to be required. Now, what I'm not sure they all understand is the collaboration that's going to be required to make sure that, at least on the DoD side, the government side, we can keep up. Because frankly, a lot of the innovation is not occurring at Fort Gordon. It's occurring in your home office, or it's occurring in the industry that you represent. It's occurring in groups of like-minded individuals who are trying to get after this problem in a very serious, very professional, very ethical way. And so we want to be part of that with you. And so what I would challenge you with over the next day is to think about ways that we can reduce the barriers to effective collaboration between the principal stakeholders in this environment. And I'm one of them, and I'm certainly not the big dog. Private industry makes significantly more investment in this area than DoD ever will. I don't have to invent it in my own backyard. Where we can, we will. We'll have the bright minds. You know, I have a PhD from MIT. And they have very difficult problems. And what I want to be able to do is not fall behind. Where I can, I want to be able to leap ahead. I don't want to be surprised by disruptive capabilities. And in many cases, the sensors that are out there are sitting in this room and the other rooms scattered around the campus today. So I challenge you to meet and greet the great men and women that call Fort Gordon and the CSRA their home. They're your neighbors. They're committed to this community. They share a passion for something that's very important for our nation. They share a passion with you, so get to know each other. I'd like you to think about ways to reduce the barriers to communication, to effective collaboration. I want you to have a lot of fun. I think most people are still out at the table picking lots. So you have to watch this on YouTube. I assume it will be posted there. And I want you to actually just enjoy this great campus. I want you to enjoy each other. I want you to enjoy the challenging topics that you're going to have the opportunity to work through today. So thank you very much. It was truly an honor to have the opportunity to spend a couple of minutes with you. Truly an honor to represent the great men and women that call Fort Gordon and the Cyber Center of Excellence their home. If you haven't heard of us before, I think over the next couple of years you're going to start to hear a lot about us. And I welcome questions or comments as you start to understand what we're about, what we're doing, and really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today. Thank you.